Okay, this is lesson 103, which is scheduled for Monday. And the first part of the lesson is going to be a general review of the adjective unit to prepare the students for quiz 14 that they're supposed to take today before the new lesson. So for a general review, adjectives. An adjective is a word that modifies a noun or a pronoun, and it answers the question, which one, what kind, how many, how much, or whose. For example, if car were my noun, which one? This car, that car, these cars. This, that, and these are all adjectives. What kind of car? Small car, blue car. Small and blue would be adjectives. How many? 3 cars, 4 cars. Adjectives. How much is when you can't count it. Enough cars, some cars. Some and enough would be adjectives. Whose car? Bob's car, his car, her car. You can use a possessive noun like the person's name, Bob's car, or you can use a possessive pronoun, his car, her car. Any word answering one of these questions about a noun or pronoun is an adjective. Adjectives usually come right before the noun they're modifying, like blue car, small car. But sometimes they come in the predicate part of the sentence, and then they are predicate adjectives. For example, Bob's car is small. What I'm saying is that Bob has a small car. In this construct, you can clearly see that small answers the question about car, what kind. So it's an adjective. In this construct, it's a little more difficult to see because small is in the predicate part of the sentence. Nonetheless, not Bob. He's not small Bob. It's a small car. Predicate adjective. The articles a, an, and the are always adjectives. They are articles. They are article adjectives. A, an, and the. It's a book, an apple, the car. They're still telling you which one, right? A and an are called indefinite articles because it's not definite which one you're talking about. You're just saying a car. The is called a definite article because you're being more definite. The car, that one. And as I'm sure you know, please use a before words that have a consonant sound. Please use an before words that have a vowel sound. And please note that it's not about the spelling, it's about the sound. In the word air, it begins with a consonant in spelling, but it doesn't begin with a consonant in sound. We say air. So it would be an air. Conversely, use begins with a vowel, but it's not about the letter we spell it with, it's about what we hear, and we hear a Y sound, which is a consonant. Use isn't a noun, we can't use that. How about a, what did they have here?
A usury.
How about a U? What did you have? A usury, very good.
I forget what that is, but I just know the word.
Usury, or a U, a lamb, there we go, or a usury. These words you hear the Y sound, so it's A. So it's about the sound, not the spelling. Moving on, verbals. What are verbals? We skipped this in the noun chapter, so I'm going to take a minute now to cover verbals. Okay. A verbal is a general term that is used to describe 3 specific verb forms. See the word verb in verbals? That's what they are. They are verbs, but they're not doing the verb job in the sentence. They're doing an adjective job, possibly a noun or an adverb job. There are 3 types of verbals. There are gerunds, infinitives, and participles. I think participles is the easiest one to understand because we've already learned about them in principal parts. If you remember when we covered principal parts, we learned that there were 4 forms of verbs. There was the present form, the present perfect form, no, I'm lying to you right now. The present participle form. The past form, and the past participle form. Do you recognize that word participle? There it is again, and that's exactly what it's referring to. In the present form, we have eat or eats. The present participle is eating, and it has to have a helping verb, you know, is eating, am eating. The past form is ate, and the past participle form is eaten. Have eaten, has eaten. It has to have a helping verb too. But these are the participle forms of the verb. So participles are simply that, the participle forms of verbs. They always end in either the ing form, if they're present, or they end in en, ed, d, or t, which are the past participle form endings. Well, why are they verbals? They're verbals when they're not being a verb in the sentence. If I used am eating in a sentence, like I am eating chicken, that's a verb. If I used have eaten in a sentence, like I have eaten chicken, that's a verb. But sometimes we could use eating as an adjective in a sentence, and that's when it would be a verbal, okay? Okay, so we're going to say participles are the ing form, and the ed, en, the endings for past participle, like I said, ed, en, d, t, past. But anyway, we're going to save these. Infinitives are the to form. To eat, to walk, to sleep, to drink. A verb preceded by the word to. And that could be a verb, like, you know, well, eat is a verb. But usually, when you have the infinitive form to eat, it's usually used as another part of speech, like to eat is my favorite thing to do. In that sentence, I'm referring to the phrase to eat as like a noun. It's a thing. What is my favorite thing to do? To eat is. So I'm using this infinitive phrase as a different part of speech other than a verb. And then gerunds, we're not covering those in Lesson 101, so I'm going to move on with the review of adjectives. Okay, recognizing proper adjectives. This is very simple. If you remember that proper nouns name specific nouns, for example, China is a proper noun because it names a specific country. Country would be a common noun. China, the name of a specific country, would be a proper noun. Well, proper adjective is just the adjective form of this noun. Perhaps I said Chinese food. Now, this word is telling what kind of food, so it's an adjective. We capitalize proper adjectives because they're made from proper nouns. Okay, distinguishing adjectives from nouns and pronouns. Like I've already alluded to, it's not so simple as one word is always a noun in every sentence and another word is always an adjective in every sentence. Oh, no. A word could do different jobs in a sentence. So how do we know if a word is doing the job of an adjective or a noun or a pronoun? Well, each part of speech has a specific description. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. So if the word is being a person, place, thing, or idea, it's doing a noun job in the sentence. An adjective answers these questions about a noun. So if the word is answering one of these questions about a noun, it's doing an adjective job. A pronoun replaces a noun. So if the word is replacing a noun, it's doing a pronoun job. For example, I missed my train. I missed my train. In that sentence, train is a noun. It's a thing. I missed my thing. But what if I said the train tracks need repair? Train tracks. Now, train is being an adjective because it's telling what kind of tracks. They are train tracks. This is the noun, the tracks. I'm not talking about the noun train. I'm using this word to tell you what kind of noun. So there's the difference. This is an adjective, this is a noun. Words like this and each are pronouns. This, each. But they can be adjectives. Here's the difference. If they have an object, they're adjectives. If I say this book, this is an adjective telling you which book. If I say each flower, each is an adjective telling you which flower. But if I said each of the students studied, there's no object. Each is replacing the noun. Each of the students. Of the students is a prepositional phrase, so that cannot be the subject. Let me write it out for you so you understand what I'm saying. Each of the farmers planted wheat. Okay. Now, if I didn't have if I had each farmer planted wheat, that would be an adjective like this. But that's not what I have here. Of the farmers is a prepositional phrase, and the subject of a sentence can never be in a prepositional phrase. So each is the subject, planted is the verb. No. Each planted. That means each is the subject. That means each is being a pronoun because it's replacing the noun. Whoever each is being replaced by the word each, so that's a pronoun. This is a rare book. Now, if I said this book, this would be an adjective. But I don't have an object here. I have a verb is and a subject this. So this word this is being a pronoun because it's replacing the name of whatever I'm talking about that I'm referring to as this instead of its name. So that's a pronoun. This is an adjective. That is the difference. And lastly, before the quiz, is recognizing predicate adjectives. And I already mentioned predicate adjectives, so hopefully you understand them. It's just an adjective in the predicate part of the sentence. The river is deep. It's a deep river is what's taking place here. Deep is an adjective describing river. The rule for predicate adjectives is they have to follow linking verbs. If it doesn't follow a linking verb, it's not a predicate adjective. They can be compound. Maybe the river is deep and wide. It's a deep river, it's a wide river. When I do this, that just means I'm joining this. They're both modifying river. We know that all the forms of be are linking verbs, but what about those other linking verbs that aren't forms of be? The ones like taste, feel, smell, seem, become, look, grow, remain, stay. What about those tricky ones? Maybe the soup tasted delicious. What we have here is some delicious soup. Delicious is an adjective telling us what kind of soup. It's a predicate adjective. Remember, predicate adjectives have to follow linking verbs. Is this a linking verb? Yes, it is. How do you test to see if something's a linking verb? Number one, you substitute it with a form of be. If the form of be will fit, it is a linking verb. I could say the soup is delicious. The soup was delicious. The soup has been delicious. It's a linking verb. Also, I ask myself, is the subject doing any action? In my sentence, soup is the subject. For this to be an action verb, soup would have to be opening up its mouth and with its tongue doing the action of tasting something. That's clearly